It was Good Friday, a little past noon. School had just been let out for Easter break in Virginia Beach, Virginia, when something completely unexpected happened.
The air started vibrating.
I just heard a loud noise and went chicka boom boom boom.
There was all this black stuff, I mean like heavy dark black smoke just going by the window.
I'm like, my God, no, no, no. I'm just screaming, no, no, no.
It was an FA-18D Hornet that had malfunctioned right after takeoff from the nearby Oceana Naval Air Station. It slammed into the Mayfair Mews apartment complex in a highly populated residential neighborhood.
Virginia Beach 911, where's the emergency?
Navy plane just went down off of 24th Street. The apartment building is completely destroyed.
Oh my God, it's terrible. The whole thing is on fire, and it's a senior community. Oh my God, all those old people. Oh my God. Oh my Jesus.
The jet's two-man crew ejected just 50 feet above ground.
Saw the pilot laying on the ground here, on his sides, hands in the air, white as a sheet. He was still connected to his parachute, which was connected to the roof of this building here. We had to cut the lines, get him free of the parachute. A bunch of us picked him up, dragged him to the front parking lot area away from the flames. The heavy black thick smoke started to come over the rooftop here, and I knew we had a matter of minutes before the fire was going to come this way.
As the ominous black smoke rose from the crash site and countless emergency responders ran to the scene, everyone expected the worst.
I saw it go in and I thought, oh gosh, they're all dead.
And I looked back at the buildings and I just counted the people that had perished, because I'm here every day, I'm retired, I don't go anywhere. I got to the front and I looked, they're dead, and they're passed away, and she's gone.
Mayor Will Sessoms of Virginia Beach feared the same.
When I came over here, about right where we were standing, there was a massive fire still going on. There were buildings over to my right that were pretty well demolished.
Earl Moyer was manager of the Mayfair Mews at the time. He was heading out of town when he heard about the crash. He'd already been praying for his tenants for 11 years, so he immediately turned to God.
I knew whether there was casualties or not that he needed to be there, so I just prayed that he would be there. You know, all I could do was think of people suffering, burning, and I just wanted him to be there on this scene to, you know, just to comfort people.
Earl began searching for his tenants, and by 10 p.m., he'd found all but 4, so he continued to pray. And the next day, the 4 missing persons were located, alive. And one by one, others started sharing their miraculous stories of survival. Ben Dishner lived and worked at the Mayfair Mews before the Navy jet destroyed his home.
There's no earthly reason for me to be standing here talking to you today. I take my lunch religiously at 11:30 to 12:30 every day. And by all rights, I should have been in my house playing computer games, but God told me to set some more tile. I'm like, well, it's like 5 minutes till 12. I'm past lunch. You know, I'm gonna go to lunch, and something said, no, just set these 8 more tiles. Set these 8 more tiles. 8 more tiles say, well, I say 8 more tiles saved my life, but God saved my life.
The jet crashed through Ben's apartment window and set his place on fire. But his life was spared, as was his wife's and his father-in-law's life.
We had to take him to the hospital a couple months before. He had some complications and had to go to rehab. If he hadn't have went to rehab, he would have been home. A week before the crash, they changed my wife's schedule. If they hadn't changed her schedule, she'd have been sitting on the couch when the plane came through the front window.
Sandy Hall would normally have been home when the jet crashed as well, but her plans changed at the last minute on that Friday morning, saving her life too.
I have a cleaning business, and my client had texted me and asked me to come later, being it was Good Friday and her son was home from school. So I texted her back and said, how about around 10? She said, perfect. So I left here at about 20 to 10 instead of leaving here at 8 o'clock like I normally do. And normally I'm home by noon. Well, it was about 12:30, quarter to 1 when I got the phone call at work that a jet had crashed.
While Sandy was out, her apartment and everything in it went up in flames. But even people that were home made it out safely. Cheryl McKee owns a pet supply store right next to the Mayfair Mews.
I actually watched a man walk out of the apartment that the plane went in. He came out the front door, the plane went down the back, and he came out and didn't really realize something had happened.
Linda Warnick was in her second-story apartment with her grandchildren, Egan and Haven, when the jet made impact. But they too made it through their front door without a scratch.
People across in the other townhouses told us that the heat was so intense that they couldn't come out their front doors. They went out the back doors.
I didn't even feel nothing. I didn't even feel the flames. Me either.
And it was...
It kind of like God protected us. Guess what? I felt God just around me, hugging me.
That's right. God, at one point she said God encapsulated us in a bubble and saved us from the heat.
And since the jet was fully fueled when it crashed, the point of contact was critical.
With God honoring my prayers, I think, He put that thing in the most perfect spot. It kind of like He just kind of dropped it in this cove here to, you know, stop the explosion from going even further or debris. When you place God on the scene, be prepared for a miracle.
God definitely was on the scene that day, because otherwise, if it had went a few feet further, we wouldn't be here to tell the story. You know, and it's definitely makes you think that you might not be thinking of God, but He's right there all the time thinking about you.
What else kept me from being in my home that day? What else kept anybody from being hurt? Not even the pilots.
God had His hand all around us.